All right. So we obviously we needed more seats, and we needed a chapel. So there's a lot of alternatives that we could look at. So I was home one night, catching up on reading my Smithsonian magazines, and I think it was August of 1991, as I recall. And the article in that magazine was about Fay Jones, a cathedral builder born 500 years too late. Okay, I'm laying in bed reading the magazine. So I'm looking at it, I'm reading it, and I started looking at the pictures. I stopped reading and just started looking at pictures, and I said, this may be the guy. So the next day, I called my boss here, and I said, I think we found our architect, okay? And I sent him the article, and I still have that article of his Xerox copy with his note on it. It says, go see him. That's all he wrote back to me, go see him. So I called the office and booked a plane, into Arkansas, and met with Fay and Maurice, and we took a ride around, and I came back and I said, I think he's the guy. Okay, so that's that part of the story. There's a Buck John's part of the story now too. So Rose Hills also had 1,500 acres, whatever it was, in Murrieta, which is South Riverside County, and we were going to build a cemetery there. We had a buddy right across the ridge that was looking at developing houses on that property. That buddy was this guy right here. So he came and talked to my boss, help me if I'm wrong, and said we should plan our properties together, because you had to have like a master plan for the county, okay? And they started talking, and Dennis probably said, yeah, we're trying to get this building built here at Skyrose. We've got an architect in Arkansas, and he didn't want to do it because it's in the cemetery. He doesn't want, you have a proper building in the cemetery. And Buck says, well, I know Fay Jones. And that's how it started, something like that. And so they started talking, and you put a good word in with Fay, and my boss and his partners went back and they visited, and pretty soon we had to deal with Fay Jones to design this building. And there's a lot more story to that too. Like I said, I practiced on the way up, and it goes on and on. But that's kind of the inception of it, how it happened. And we got to know Fay and Maurice pretty well. I went back and we toured all the other chapels, Thorn Crown and Mildred Cooper on all the other chapels, and came back convinced this was the right guy to design our chapel. And then the adventure began for real at that point in time. So,
wow.
Yeah.
When was this built?
Came online in 1996. Yeah, 1996. Yep. Yep. Yeah. And did we vision this at the beginning? No. We remember I told you we were thinking about blocking the view of a water tank. That's how we were thinking. We weren't thinking this. But we saw the architectural significance of Fay's work and said, why wouldn't we have that here? Now the good news is also this was a nonprofit business at that time. So they needed to spend money in their property. No, you didn't pay big bonuses, and the money didn't go anywhere. It needed to be reinvested in the property. And so this building was built because it was a nonprofit, and made a lot of sense to them. A profit company might not have done it, but timing, as most things, is everything. And so that's the way that part of it worked out. Okay, am I blabbering yet?
No.
Okay.
It's a wonderful story. And the guy that was in charge of the complex at the time became good friends with Dennis Polson. And he and Bruce had the vision to do something that was unique. And they have to have these kinds of facilities here. But the magic of Fay Jones and the history of Fay, and Fay had already received the gold medal.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get Dennis to get more excited about what he was seeing, to go back and look at Thorn Crown and envision what this would be scaled up, because Thorn Crown seats, I think, 30-some people in Thorn Crown, and this is 10 times that size. So the building is 10 times as big, and it's actually more than that when you add in the other dimensions.
Right.
And you'll see the pergola that's outside that I think is a magnificent addition, and you'll get the feel for it. And on clear days, it's not quite as clear. You can see Catalina, the ocean, from downtown LA. So sight is magnificent.
We do get clear days occasionally, so no matter. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the story. We could have built any functional building to conduct funerals in, but what we want to do was leave something of meaning behind. So as Dennis and I went somewhere else to our glory, this was here in the memory of that input into it and meant a lot. So that was part of the motivation too. Not just a building, we wanted to leave something behind special. Yeah.
One of the things that I always enjoyed about this, and we came up here quite a bit as the complex was going, because Maurice would come out and we would enjoy what the latest was. But uniquely, the guy that built it fell in love with the concept. The Pozo
Right.
was the,
Pozo Construction, right.
was the contractor that built it.
Right.
And it was important to him that it be done as well as it could be done. The fence was unusual, all
Mhm.
those things. But one of the things that they were priding themselves on is that it's all built with screws. There's no nails in it, it's all screws. And each screw is perfectly aligned, vertically and horizontally on
Yeah.
hexagonal screws. So every screw, even at the very top, and I'm taking binoculars to check these guys, to check those guys, and every screw is on a perfect
Yeah.
north-south axis.
So I'm going to give you one caveat to that. They've replaced the upholstery on some of the benches. They may not be perfect anymore, but when we took it over, the contractor's head guy made sure it was perfect. So, and he had pride in that. Why don't you come on in? I move a little slow. I've got a little knee problem, so work with me a little bit.
Here, Buck, I'm going to mic you up with the other mic right here.
Yeah, sure.
I got really good audio here. It's great.
There you go.
Okay.
So,
Why on that hill are there headstones, but on the rest of the property, you only see markers?
that's a great question, and I have an answer for that.
Okay,
All right.
probably good.
So there's about, I think it's about 8 acres. I'm stretching my memory on this. About 8 acres in total, which I'd call the Skyrose churchyard. And so what I wanted to do was not just have a place for burials, and there's some terrace walls out there, you'll see that, but I wanted to establish the churchyard look. So that's a very limited area, upright monuments, and it's supposed to be the churchyard. And that's what it's called. If you look at the map on that, it says the churchyard. So that was intentional. Okay?
And those date back a ways?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
No.
they
I mean,
look like they may.
Well, they might. They might. Someone may have transferred in too. But no, that was all part of the idea. Just establish this thing as the churchyard, much like like Europe. Like you go there, you'll see a church, you'll see the graveyard around it. Kind of the idea.
That's awesome.
Too. So the other thing I mentioned is the value of the property. So this place is grave sites. Now I don't know recently what the numbers look like, but I would say a double death interment grave site at Rose Hills is at least $15,000, at least that. And we displaced a whole bunch of them by building this building. So what we did is we created a mausoleum below. So the whole lower level of this is burials, is a mausoleum site. So I think there's 1,200 crypts and a whole bunch of niches downstairs. And if we have time, we can go down and look at that too. But the idea was, listen, guys, we didn't give away the property. We used the property, and we just built the building on top of it, which just made it easier to sell to our trustees at that time, because their job is a fiduciary responsibility to the place. So we needed to show them how we could do this and why we wanted to do this. So this is craftsman. We didn't have to do that either. We could have built a functional building, but we wanted something that we all looked back and said that was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So this is the foyer, and this is where families gather. And the whole idea here, you have this uplifting here, right? You feel it, the high ceiling, and then you go through that. And what that does, and you'll feel it when you do it, it compresses you. And then you step to the other side, and you've got the uplift again. It's almost tangible. It can be, I guess, depending on how much you've drank. It is, but it can be tangible. You feel just the uplift when you step into the other room. Oh, also, Faye designed all the furniture here too. This thing here too, and where you're standing, we did have a upright stand where we allowed people to make contributions. It got a little, as a nonprofit, it was fine. As a profit business, so there was a little box you could drop $1 in, or a note. You could say how much you love Skyrose, and we took that money and used it for nonprofits. But we don't do that anymore because it looks like we're just trying to make money, and we weren't. But just a way of showing appreciation. So this is also it was designed for weddings as well. So the room right there is really the bride's room. Well, the family room, I'm sorry. The restrooms, if you go in there, you'll see the restrooms are way too big for this building. Well, the idea was it would be the bride's room. and you could dress in there and comfortably and get ready, for the wedding ceremony. So it was designed for funerals and weddings, and some people say there's an analogy there somehow, but I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, so if you want to, any questions at this point? Yeah, do you feel this? Okay. Let me tell you this story while we're here too. I told you, Buck,
I love the
all
stories.
way.
I love them.
So see the skylight right there? That's a Faye Jones signature piece, that whole thing, all the way down. You'll see it when you get inside. And we were in the design meeting, and the question came up, and a good question, how are you going to clean that, Bruce? Because you build it and you design it, and then it's ours. And it really stopped the whole design process because they were laboring over this thing. And I remember going, listen guys, we can't stop now. If I have to hire a monkey, we're going to get those skylights cleaned. Don't worry about it, just keep on going. So it's a huge skylight. It is an issue to clean, but that's we do, take care of it. So that was just a moment in that design. So if you like, step through the passage and we'll meet on the other side. I'll let you linger through.
Good. Let's go through to get the experience. I love the door pulls. You get that feel that you have at all of the Faith chapels, and particularly the one at Thorn Crown. That Jerry Labonte did the light sconces at Thorn Crown, and this is a takeoff on those, only scaled up.
So you can kind of feel it, it just, you condense a little bit, press down, and then you step into it. And let's see, what do I want to tell you about this? The light fixtures are all done in Fayetteville. I remember going to the guy who was building it, and I remember calling, I go, I'm in the middle of a tomato field.
It was Labonte, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't remember the name.
Jerry Labonte.
Jerry Labonte.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Lowell, Arkansas.
It was one of those moments that I go, I don't think I'm in the right place, And yeah.
How did they decide?
They said, well, wait a minute, if that's, you have to have handicap access to that. And it just, knocked Faye for a loop because he goes, it's going to destroy my whole design. I have to have a handicap ramp to get there. And I said, wait a minute, not so fast. That's not a podium. That's a floral display area. So we scratched off on the plan what they had, and we put floral display, and it went right through without a hiccup. So it's one of those moments in time. So we had a lot of those. So you might check the back of these pews, as Buck pointed out. They should be all aligned. So yeah.
Let's walk down so you get a feel for the beauty of the site.
Shot with the drone coming through here.
Sure.
So at one point, just be mindful of that drone, like kind of, if you're out on the sides over there, look the best towards the front. So, and I'll come through those doors, and you'll just be chatting and doing your thing.
All right. Okay. Proud of the fact that all the connectors. So those are Douglas fir beams. Okay, they're interrupted though, and so Faye designed the connectors. Those connectors. So the Douglas fir comes up, connects, and then continues. And the contractor was very proud of the fact that they all lined up perfectly. So, yeah.
You can imagine.
No, I know. That last one.
Yeah. I hope this works.
So what?
And the room up above on the terrace level right there, that's kind of the heart and soul of the place. All the communication, all that's in there. So, air conditioning. Interior span, I think, is 70 feet. I think that's right. My memory serves me. That was a story too. I think the first design came back and it wasn't tall enough for Dennis, so we had to go back to the drawing board.
I remember that.
Yep. It's all coming back to me now. It can be it's called on the service. Triforium. So it's like the third level. Think of it that way.
Those are the pipes there. Okay. Bruce, give the story of the organ.
The what?
The organ story.
The organ story.
Yeah.
Well, we have this beautiful building, right? We have this great design, but we felt that it was not complete. That the building needed a voice. So yeah, there'd be a piano, and there is a piano here. There's other instruments that are played here, but really thought that the organ, having a pipe organ in the building, would have a voice for the building. That was kind of the idea. And so we, Dennis and I went on a couple trips around the country, interviewed people, and came back a little dismayed. But we stopped in Missouri and met this guy, and he convinced us that he knew how to build this thing, and he had the passion for it. He'd had a tragic loss in his family, and I'm trying to think of his name now, it'll come. But he convinced us he was the right organ builder, so we set out to build this pipe organ, which five steps to it. So there's 5 different platforms in the keyboard. So I call that like the control panel, like in an airplane, that'd be the cockpit, that right there. And then the playing, the things that make the music are behind those big pipes in the cabinets below. Okay. So there's a blower in there. I mean, it's more of a mechanical piece than it is a musical piece in some ways. But we had a lot of fun with that organ. We had one of the Beach Boys play here, played the organ. Yeah, James Taylor performed here, I think, once too. I think that's true. So yeah, so those are just display pipes. They work, they're functional, but there's like, I don't know, probably another 500 pipes behind that, and down to the smallest one, which is about this tall. Yeah. Wow. That was an adventure for a guy who knew nothing about pipe organs too. So it's like going to the University of Pipe Organs, what I did. And got to travel the country a little bit and meet different organ builders, and found a guy that was passionate about it. So Michael Quimby, I think his name was. So,
Quimby Organs.
So yeah, that was a great piece of it too. So
that had to be a lot of fun and just something brand new to learn.
Yeah. It was like going back to school, and learning things that I didn't know anything about. But it was the right thing. It really did need the voice. The voice was important to the space. And we've done a lot of performances here. And I think Quimby's come back a couple times and played. We've had others play, just as a performance. I don't know what they do today, but if I were still here, I'd be having organ recitals. So yeah. Yeah. So all this area is now also just kind of the display casket. Remember the business we're in, the casket would go probably right here. This could be flowers. We could add additional seats if we needed them. That's what that's about. The Triforium Gallery is standing room primarily, and that we filled it up too. So one of our trustees passed, the whole place was full. There wasn't a place to stand. So it's been pretty full. The downstairs with the delivery of the case and the flowers and all, I don't know if we want to go down and see that or not, but it all comes through that door right there in an elevator, and they bring everything out and place the funeral display right here. So we have the pastor's room back behind us where he hangs and he gets ready, and family room. Family room we don't use that much, which is the space right here, because families are more engaged these days. They don't sit separately necessarily anymore. Sometimes, but more often than not, they're engaged with everybody else that's here. So kind of changing family dynamic. Yeah. Spent a lot of time at Maurice's house. I did that. Spent the night there. We rode horses. I rode horses with him and all that. We had crab boil. We did that. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, his son Walter, Buck probably told you, is in the process of doing a chapel on our ranch.
Okay.
It's kind of our inspiration that's led us down this path to meet you here today. And so we're so excited.
Yeah, I know Walter. Yeah. He was just a baby when I first met him. So,
yeah.
I think he was 8 years old or something like that. Also, did he do the chapel at what's the trucker? J.B. Hunt. Yeah.
Yes.
That was Walter. Yeah.
Yes.
I went there for
The service form.
do that to this chapel. So I said, okay, keep in mind, you look, the afternoon sun is a tough one for us. So, and all this stuff was added later to the audiovisual as the world changed, we added things to it too. You can see the concern about the skylight too. It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that is magnificent.
Yeah. I don't know if they got a monkey or not, but
I thought I had two. But you get overwhelmed by the proportions
yeah.
when you're in here.
I think it's 70 feet clear inside. I think that's right. It looks taller than that to me.
It
but
does to me too.
Yeah. It's that number for some reason. Any questions?
Well, that's what you said too, well built.
Yeah.
What are these little things underneath there?
That's the air conditioning return, I believe.
Okay.
The delivery is that slot up there along the thing.
Once again, looks.
Yeah.
Looks so good.
Behind all that.
Yeah, it's unobtrusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got a space, 70-foot ceilings, you can't air condition the whole thing and heat it. You want to be able to where the people are.
Watch what I say. Huh? Yeah.
Too clear.
See if we can, if this thing's working, we'll do the elevator, or you can take the stairs if you'd rather take the stairs down. Okay.
Yeah, I remember this is a long way down.
Feel the temperature drop.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a mausoleum.
Oh, this has changed since I've been here.
Is it?
Yeah.
This is a hall of reflection. So those are niches. These are crypts.
Yeah.
What's the niche versus the crypt? What's the difference?
Cremated remains.
Oh, okay.
Full bodies.
This is very well done.
When did they redo this?
Redo?
Yeah, did they redo the renovate the bottom here, or is it?
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Super clean then.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can walk forward here too, or you can just browse whatever you like. But these are for the most part double depth. In other words, 2 caskets can go in. There's a couple of singles too, and then all the glass front niches, display urns that are in there. So those are all cremated remains in those glass fronts. Is everybody okay? Everybody getting creeped out or not? Yeah, sometimes I forget. Not everybody is as comfortable as I am with it. Yeah.
Very impressive.
It's okay. So you can tell your friends you went to a cemetery and saw a bunch of dead people. Yeah.
Very interesting.
There you go. Who wants to do that? You sound like my grandson now.
That's how it works.
So we'll go this way. Just mosey. There's no hurry. All this was designed by Fay and Maurice as well. And I mean the finishes, not the niches. We did those separately. But all the finish down here. So we took some of the material upstairs and we introduced the limestone too. This is limestone.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. This is pretty stunning.
Yeah.
I got to name the corridors. So we named them after the materials in the building too. Redwood corridor, oak corridor, and
You got to name it?
I did.
I love the vertical tombstones outside that you were able to incorporate that. That's a brilliant concept.
Took a little arm twist, and I want you guys to kind of get my vision here, and they finally did. They said, okay. So I don't want a whole big area. I just want a small spot. This is the Great Hall. And up below, it's right there.
Did Fay and Maurice design all of this?
The glass fronts? No.
Okay.
So that's another story too. So I had a designer that designs niches for us, and we got together with him and Paul Piquel is his name, and of course they approved it. But the design was, if you'll look at the design in the niches, it's upstairs beams, cross beams. Can you
Great.
see that in the design? Yeah. So it's just sort of repetitive of what's upstairs a little bit. Subtle, but
It sure
fun.
does.
And
the glass there on the glass architecture between the two.
what's that?
So the glass architecture is slightly different between the front here and that glass.
Yeah, that one and that one are unique. And they were part of the actual installation of the building, design of the building. So Paul Piquel, our designer, worked with Fay. So it wasn't like, here Fay, do this. No, it was, let's work together and here's what we're seeing. And this is what we came up with. This one is the centerpiece, and it was actually, I'd like to tell you the story, but it's not a good story, so I won't. But anyway, there's 5 interments here.
Oh.
So there's 2 up top and 3 across the bottom. And we sold it to Kind of, maybe. Sold it to a guy who wanted to buy it for his wife who passed. And I won't go into detail. It was, let's put it, there was a sordid thing going on. And ended up, we sold it. First thing we sold in here was this. And he canceled, he was just a scam artist, basically. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any, the memorialization should be on the outside. I don't think there's anyone in there. I think that's still available if you got a couple bucks.
There you are. I bet that's a little pricey.
Imagine it is.
Yeah.
So this is the great hall. Yeah, the great hall.
I love the etching in the glass, so it matches the,
You got it. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Carries the theme.
And so the funeral cases will come out that little road behind you here and be delivered to that room. Flowers come in there and they all go up the elevator to that room we saw up above and then placed at the front of the altar. And this building is busy. We had to cut out some time. Fortunately, the middle school next door is doing their graduation here this afternoon, so we had some opening today. But usually it's just bumper to bumper in here. So.
Take us up into the pergola and we'll get out of your hair.
Okay. Well,
this is great.
Go that way and get in the elevator. I left the door there, so if you want the elevator, you can grab it.
Great. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So those who can use the stairs can. I'm gonna use the elevator myself. Slope. So you can imagine a piece of that sliding down, and we had a couple of those happen. So we went through and replaced everything. Yeah. That would get your attention if that came off the top.
So
Yeah.
what wood is this? Is this that artificial wood called
No.
Trex?
No, this is regular. I don't know if this is pine, whatever they used
It
here.
doesn't rot?
Oh, we take care of it.
William, did you get this plaque?
Yeah, this is original. Nothing's been replaced out here.
Really?
Yeah.
And I won't
So it's probably
page
Douglas
on
fir,
Maurice
I
Jennings,
would
and I want this
imagine.
quote.
Very hard.
This
Yeah.
quote.
The building up there.
Yeah, that's off campus. Yeah, it belongs to the Greek Orthodox.
Okay,
Yeah.
not part of your.
No, yeah. But certainly in the landscape, it looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, I thought it did. I thought
Well,
it belonged.
so that was my project too. I want to make sure they didn't jeopardize what we did here. So yeah.
That's a beautiful project,
Yeah.
Bruce. That's amazing.
So all the air conditioning, all the supports out here behind these walls. Behind that wall there, there's the bigger AC units. Everything that comes up the back door, comes in here to the side. The pastor, all the support stuff. Remember, the case comes up downstairs, up the elevator to the main floor. So this is all just support for what goes on here. And like I said, we've used the entire space before. The story of something didn't get built. So in that space right there, that lifted area where that was to be a bell tower. And it was about, I'm going to say, just short of 100 feet tall. And Mr. Lazenby had a chance to go to Alabama and recover bells from a church down there and brought them back, and we had it all set. And then Rose Hills was nonprofit, remember that? Had been sold. And the pressure on me was finish the budget because we've sold the place, And so my bell tower got cut. And it's too bad. I have pictures, artist rendering of it, and it looks really good there
bet.
too.
Talking about the grassy area?
Right here.
Right here,
Right
behind
here.
this wall.
Right, that wall right there.
Right
It's
there.
lifted. There was to be a bell tower. And I had the chimes, I had them all. I just didn't have the cash. So
Where are those bells at?
I gave them away. I gave them to the LA Philharmonics and Houston Philharmonics. Yep, gave them all. So, we restored them for like 20 years and finally said, let's give them away.
You've been a part of some really exciting things.
Yeah, it was a pretty good career.
Yeah, what a great story. I love it.
Not to mention just this expansion of this place too.
Yeah.
And that's all the infrastructure that goes with Road Street. You don't think of that in a cemetery, right? Think, well, it's got some burial sites.
Yeah.
But all the support that goes with it. All right. I do have some books here if you want to see them. And one is, this is the Rose Hills book. And then I have the Fay Jones book. And another Fay Jones book. Take a quick look through those if you like. And then the rose garden at the front gate is in full bloom right now too. That's a famous rose garden. It was like, 10,000 plants, 700 varieties. And one of those books Fay actually signed. I don't know which one it was, but
Oh, this one it says to John.
to John, good. He won't miss it, believe me.
So,
Oh yeah, there's the note. Yeah. Event center too. So it's funerals. That's the primary job. I had the good fortune of receiving this book from Faye, and he signed it and gave it to me. So I've just hung on to it. It's precious to me, and it's in a good spot at my house at home. So I didn't have any trouble finding it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I really looked all over for that article of Smithsonian too that said go see him on it. I know it's somewhere. I stashed it at home somewhere. I couldn't find it. That's the one that my boss said, just go see him. And I took off. Yeah, so.
Was this Faye's last big project?
It was his last
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
It is very nice one.
Thank you. Hmm?
And it was a big project compared to what they had done.
Yeah.
Maurice was excited about it. And I'll give you some more details. But he was reluctant, Faye was reluctant to undertake something of this magnitude in the whole works. And he had purpose. And I brought Faye here. And we had Eric Lloyd Wright with us, who was a classmate of his under Frank. And they were close friends. They worked on Price Tower. They did the drawings for Price Tower together. So they were close friends. And I had done some projects with Eric. And that he was just had a hard time doing it. And so I told Dennis that what we're going to have to do is take Mohammed to the mountain here. You've got to go see Faye. And I got a hold of Gus. And I had discussed that with Gus and with Maurice to help me out on this thing. And Gus kept the books. And I said, let me give you the dimensions on what we're talking about here. And she was very helpful.
She was very gracious too. I had dinner
she
with them
was
in their home several times.
delightful.
So I was just part of the deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Yeah, I told you at Maurice's house we had crab boil and we went horseback riding. We did all that stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but I had a lot of fun too. So I can't complain about that. Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I know. Okay.
John Wayne from Ronald Reagan Airport, so you got a Reagan in the family.
That's
Ready
right.
to go.
Yep. You're gonna
Everything you
do.
needed?
Yeah, I got everything on
How
that
do I
end.
look?
You look amazing. I just listened to some of the audio. It is crisp as a literally.
You probably want this back.
Yep. I'm gonna grab all this stuff here, and I mean, if you wanted to talk just for a second, maybe summarize what this is about.
Well, as I retired 2 years ago, prior to it, they decided it should be a plaque here at Rose Hills.
So this is dedicated to you.
I think.
That's a very modest.
So we could have built anything, but we built this instead. Yeah.